Hello everyone, my name is Kaan. Today I am going to talk about genetically modified organisms. This presentation will be about 10 minutes and I will answer your questions at the end of the presentation. Here is the table of content. First, I will introduce GMO and then talk about very interesting case study of GMO and then analyze pros and cons. Finally, conclusion and the references. So, what is GMO? GMO is an organism that its DNA is altered or modified by using genetic engineering methods and it cannot be occurred naturally. Who uses GMOs? GMOs can be used by every country, but there are certain regulatory and health concern problems with citizens and governments. The case study. Uh, I'm going to talk about Irish potato famine. The 1840s were bleak time in Irish history. Imagine one in every six people you know slowly, painfully dying of starvation or disease. And then, in the next few years, as many people leave the country and never come back. During the Irish famine, 1 million people, or about 15% of the population, died. Another 1.5 million people fled the country in its immediate aftermath, leading to a permanent decline in the Irish population. Ireland and whole world was changed forever due to one persistent devastating fungus. Fungus attacks the potato plant, leaving the potatoes inedible. The fungus spores spread easily in the wind and quickly infect neighboring plants. It was particularly disastrous to Ireland due to the potato being hugely relied on for food by the rural poor. By the 1850s, the widespread blight eventually ran its course, but it did not disappear entirely. To this day, blight remains as significant for potato and tomato growers that has to be battled years after years. 160 years after the famine, late blight is still a $5 billion problem for global potato industry. In 2015, a breakthrough occurred. A new variety of GMO potato was developed that can resist the fungus. Using the blight resistance genes from wild potato plants, scientists precisely adapted a version of the common potato to withstand the fungal disease. This GM potato, called the innate potato, can save farmers huge amount of time and money and can reduce the amount of environmental damaging pesticide that gets sprayed on the fields. The reason that I explain this famine is because by using GMOs, people can survive from many type of disasters. Let's talk about pros and cons of GMOs. GMOs are used to end hunger problem in the world. As I mentioned before, Irish people could be survived if GMOs were invented so that people would not die from starvation in that time. Another pros for GMOs is that GM foods can be modified to be more nutritious. This is one of the most fascinating features of GMOs. Reducing crop failure is also a huge boost for production of agriculture. For cons, safety concerns rise after GMOs are used. The media manipulates citizens to not use GM foods. This is still the biggest problem for GMOs. There is no certain explanation for GMOs to be 100% healthy. Expensive technology is the other cons. Farming GMOs are not easy. Forming GMOs are not easy. There are many processes for collecting GMOs, and technology is not cheap to do it continuously. To sum up, I explained GMO, then showed a very interesting case study called Irish potato famine. This study is important because GMOs have the power to change the world and make it a better place to live. Then pros and cons are explained to understand why it's important for humanity and why it is not preferred by people. My takeaway from this topic is that if GMOs are examined and proved that it is 100% healthy, people are going to use it, and then it will make the world more healthy place and provide an economic growth for countries. Lastly, it will resolve hunger problems. Thanks for listening to me. So now I can take the questions. Thank you.